Ladies and mostly gentlemen, today we're going to answer the age-old question, and the question I get a lot: how is the Azerite power grind? Well, we had the artifact power grind in Legion, and at the beginning of the expansion I remember it being like slightly, a bit annoying, but it was still like manageable. And then by the end of the expansion it just became a bit of a meme. You could literally get to 110 and you'll get all of your traits pretty much straight away after like 2 quests, so it just became a bit of a joke by the end of it. Now, today in this video I'm going to talk specifically about my experiences with Azerite power on the beta, and I'm going to go through a few numbers with you to give you just a bit of perspective on how this is going to work once Battle for Azeroth is released on August 14th. Now, this is the beta, so beta can change in an instant, but I thought I'd give us a bit of perspective on how it's looking at the moment. I just want to know what you guys think of this power grind and whether you think it's manageable and if you even think it should have existed in the first place. So let us begin. Let me just do a quick little explain on what the Heart of Azeroth is and how it works differently to the artifact system. So when you get to 110 and you do your quest with Magni Bronzebeard, you get a level 1 Heart of Azeroth. Now this is this neck piece right here. It's a artifact level item and it has stats on it as well, which is quite nice, but yeah, you will not be replacing this throughout the entire expansion. Now as I said, it starts at level 1, and probably by the time you're about a level 120, pretty much it'll be level 5 to 8, I would say. Mine was level 5 when I got there, but that was a while ago on the beta. I'm not too sure about more recent times where they've buffed it and changed stuff, but on my experience, it was level 5. I think it, as I said, 5 to 8 is probably the kind of area you're going to be looking at. So, how much Azerite does stuff give you? Well, when you're leveling, I believe at the end of most quest chains you will be getting some Azerite from quests. You don't get it as often as you did artifact power, but you get like I think about 250 to 100 sort of gems each time you do it. Now these aren't items, these are just things that go straight into your Heart of Azeroth. You don't need to click it, you don't need to remember to do it. It just happens as soon as you complete a quest or an objective or anything like that. Now, normal bosses, while leveling up, will give you 25 Azerite each, which is not a lot in the grand scheme of things. Now, on my level 115, the Azerite power does slow up quite a bit. He's currently on level 4, and to get to level 5, he needs about 2,000 Azerite power. Now, as I said, it's 25 per boss, and you actually get 50 Azerite per completion of the dungeon on the random dungeon finder, which, again, is not a lot. Now, once you get to 120, heroic bosses will be giving you 55 Azerite per kill, and the heroic daily dungeon will give you 400 Azerite, which is, again, not too bad, but let's put this into perspective. So, my current character is level 120, his Azerite armor thing is level 10, and it currently will take around about 14,000 Azerite to get from 10 to 11. Now, when you're getting 400 per day from a quest, and like 55 per boss, it definitely takes a while, and it's not guaranteed from every boss either. It's kind of like a bit of a random thing where you'll either get gold, or you get gold and Azerite power, or obviously loot as well. Mythic bosses at the moment are currently giving 200 Azerite per kill, but that is, again, random, and it's not always every single boss. Now, the level on your Heart of Azeroth is to do with Azerite traits. Now, Azerite traits we've done in a previous video, but I have a Heroic Shoulders here. So this is Heroic Shoulders. I cannot do anything on this. The first level of artifact traits are at level 13, and as I said, I'm at 10 at the moment, and it is an absolute slug. And I have Mythic Shoulders as well, but currently they do not have any traits. They haven't gone through all of that at the moment, so educated guess, I'm going to say they probably start at around 20, but as I said, that is currently not implemented in the game. So I'm wearing all this heroic gear, like this chest here, and I can't use any of these until at least level 12. Which is annoying. So other ways to obtain Azerite, not only through dungeons and stuff like that, there is also the world quests. So world quests are back in Battle for Azeroth, if you didn't know. There is a few that gives you Azerite power, and the most important ones really for me are these ones here. The Champions of Azeroth Azerite Mining Quest. Now, not only does this give you 350 Azerite power per quest, also when you're gathering the Azerite for the quest, when you kill stuff, you actually get 1 to 3 Azerite per kill, and you're actually getting about 20 Azerite per node as well. On top of the amount that you actually get for completing the quest, it's actually a decent amount of Azerite. The only problem is, once that world quest is over, you can't just stay there and farm the Azerite, because the NPCs and the nodes won't be active to give you any Azerite in that zone. Regular world quests give you about 250 And then there's other ones where are just like war resources and items, or gold. I think if you are in a rush with a brand new character though, the best way to level up your Azerite as fast as possible with a slight risk is probably to turn on war mode. Now when you turn on war mode at 120, all the world quest rewards are increased by 10%, and that includes Azerite power. Obviously with the 10% increase you'll be getting around 385 for the Azerite mining quest, and then your normal world quest will be getting you around 275 Azerite as well. And after a while it will build up, and it probably will be for your benefit in the end. The risk with that is the fact that you're out in the world and it's a world PvP environment, so the chances are if there is other people farming the Azerite in those quests as well, there is a chance that you might get ganked or attacked by a group of the opposite faction, and it might actually slow up and end up being probably detrimental in the long run. It really depends on how busy your realm is and what times you're doing these things. But if you're a good PvPer and that is something you enjoy, then definitely 100% put on war mode and farm that Azerite, because that's going to be your most efficient way to do it through world quests. Honestly, on this character I have just been doing constant world quests that reward Azerite, and as I said, I'm only at level 10 and I can't even touch any of my heroic gear until 111 at least, at the very, very minimum, honestly. When we were doing the raid testing, they actually bumped your Heart of Azeroth up to about level 25, so I would imagine that was like mythic heroic raiding, and honestly I think that's probably going to be like the sort of soft peak at the start of the expansion. I have no idea where it's going to be by the end of the expansion. There is data mined info to go all the way up to 400, which is just insane. And another thing to add, there is actually Azerite knowledge, and Azerite knowledge has been data mined, and that goes up quite far as well, but we have no idea if it's actually going to be implemented or how it's going to work in any regard. But I think the numbers are going to get pretty insane. I think they are going to get to the artifact level of craziness with like billions and millions, which is a shame really, because I honestly would have preferred it to stay at like 200, 300. Honestly, I would have preferred it if it was just percentages. I don't like the numbers. The big numbers just, it makes it look a bit too ridiculous when you're getting like 3 million, 4 million, billions of power. It's just silly. It does get a bit silly, honestly. One thing we need to think about as well is that they said island expeditions are going to be one of the main sources of Azerite. Now my theory is that it takes 6,000 Azerite to win a island expedition, so it's the first team to get to 6,000 Azerite. And while you're doing these island expeditions you are gaining Azerite for your team, but you're not gaining it for yourself. But I think honestly, when it's all said and done, I think that Azerite that you are gaining for your team will actually go to you. I think, you know, it's a team of 3, you're probably going to be gaining, what, like 2,000 probably. You'll be, if you're a decent team player, you'll be getting a third of the team's amount of Azerite, and yeah, I honestly think that the Azerite you'll be getting from Island Expeditions will go straight to you. And I think it will definitely, if that is the case, it will definitely be one of the main sources of Azerite, because you'll be getting 2,000-ish per Island Expedition, and then the reward of whatever the reward for Island Expedition will be. So if that is the case, then yeah, they absolutely will be a great source of Azerite. They also said the Warfronts will be another great source of Azerite, but at the moment on the beta there's currently no reward for those things. But yeah, that is yet to come, and I think at its current state it is slow and it's rubbish, and I really don't like it, and it takes a very, very long time. And all helms, shoulders, and chests from heroic, from normal, from mythic are all Azerite infused. And if you don't have that Azerite level, then they're not going to be good for you. They really aren't. And you're just going to get the base stats because there's no secondary stats on them apart from the Azerite powers. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got to say about Azerite power. Sorry if this was a little bit ranty. I'm kind of just going off a few little notes that I've got and going off my experiences as 120, playing on the beta quite often, and kind of like experiencing it firsthand as it currently is. So as I said, beta is beta, and this could change in an absolute instant. I'm going to put a link to a Wowhead post from April where they had all the amounts of Azerite per level, which is now completely changed, but it gives you a rough idea of how it's going to look in the expansion. So let me know down below what you think of Azerite power. If you're currently on the beta, what level is your Azerite power and what level are you? I'd love to know some feedback on more recent leveled up characters. Also, if this is your first experience of looking at Azerite power, what do you think of it compared to Artifact power? And did you even like Artifact power in the first place? I really want to know what you guys think of all of this, and yeah, you know what my opinion is, so let's see what you have to say. So before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons and YouTube sponsors. You guys are awesome, and if you're interested in supporting the channel in that way, links are all down below. So leave a like on this video if you liked it, guys, and subscribe if you haven't. I also have a brand new merch store just launched through Streamlabs, and the link for that is down below and in the end screen of this video. I also have a partner Discord channel with over 3,000 members. We talk about BFA, we talk about everything. It's a great time, and link to that again is down below. So with that, guys, I'll see you next time.